This is a different kind of rant I'm gonna do today. Let me get my coffee. Turn the motor off here. I was just in this lovely coffee shop, The Pump in Forest Knolls, and there was this guy in there. Very knowledgeable guy. He had a nice vocal tone. But he was talking to a woman who was a stranger to him, I could tell. And he was a man who follows world events and cares about them, and was talking about a lot of different heavy issues. This is a pretty cute little intimate coffee shop. I don't know if you can see it from here. It's not a lot of space in there. And it's like raining outside. There's not a lot of tables. And this dude was just kind of dead center in the floor plan. And he was just talking about what writers he follows and what political commentators and what books he's read and what issues he cares about. Man, and he was rattling them off, talking about climate change and nuclear war. That's great, man, that you're, staying knowledgeable. He had great vocabulary. He was able to form great sentences. But what he was not able to do, and this is the crux of this video, he was not able to have a two-way conversation. And he might have been like in his early 40s. His beard was nicely trimmed. But he was talking to this woman who was so generous and alert and centered and like, wow, And she had such a great two-way energy. And every now and then when she could get a word in edgewise, she would just say something supportive. She would just express gratitude for this conversation. Or she would let him know that she was listening. Her response would be directly relevant to the thing he just said. But dude was having trouble waiting for her to finish one little sentence. But I want to tell you, bro, and I think it's a lot of dudes who have this one-way fire hose communication style. I run into this problem more often with guys than women. Guys, it's like a walkie-talkie. All of human interaction will benefit if you use it like a walkie-talkie. What do I mean? When you get to the end of your phrase on a walkie-talkie, you say over, and then you let go of the button, and the other person can speak for a while. And wait for them to say over. I'm not saying we're going to literally do that in conversation at the end of every phrase, but good conversationalists, they land their idea and they let you know, period. That idea is done. There's also a musical analogy in here somewhere. You can tell when a player has come to the end of their little idea, and then you can say, aha, with your instrument. I heard that. You don't even have to say much back. Maybe it's like, do 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 do, boom boom. You know what I'm saying? That's all the piano player needed to say back. Boom boom. It's like, I feel you. I'm in your cadence for a moment. I'm here making music with you. Anyhow, it was raining. It was a tight space in there. The guy obviously cared a lot about these world events and was obviously really glad to have this generous, babely woman listening to him. But he was not making it easy for her to say anything, and he does not know how exhausting that is to be on the other side of a fire hose. Let the other person speak. Wait for the end of a phrase. And occasionally, when they say something interesting, give them just a short reply that acknowledges that you are listening. And they'll go, all right, cool, now we got something. Now I can relax and unpack my ideas a little more. If you just give them a short reply that's like, I'm here, I heard that. They can start to unfold longer ideas. And kind of they can get in some time to think. Speaking is thinking for all of us. We get a chance to test out our ideas. And with different conversational partners, we might get to different places. Maybe form some ideas we haven't formed before. Or get to some new terrain. So if you're being a fire hose and you're just sort of compulsively cutting the other person off and not noticing that you're doing that, it's kind of like you're using them as a sounding board, as a journal. You get to work out all of your ideas and have them kind of be generous and be like, But they don't get to do the same thing. They don't get to test their ideas out loud or bounce their ideas off of you or share their experience or their feelings about something. Yeah, man. And I want to say more of us have trouble with this two-way thing than we used to. And maybe it has to do with these things, with our information technology. Because we're overwhelmed and oversaturated with info. And so by the time you actually get out of the house and make it to the coffee shop, you've watched like 25 really dense YouTube videos about world affairs if you're this guy who I just escaped. I couldn't stand it anymore. I left and came to the car to talk about him. But by the time we get to the coffee shop, maybe we're overloaded with information. And so when we finally meet a willing conversational partner, we're like, I gotta tell you all this stuff that's rattling around in my head. I think that's why people are having a hard time with two-way conversation. Anyways, that's the end of this one-way transmission. Thanks for listening. What do you think?